Hello, everybody. This is Real Talk Beyond the Headlines. Yeah, we're just talking real talk. This is a podcast about whatever the fuck you wanted to be about. Thank you for tuning in today. Check us out on social media at Real Talk Beyond the Headlines. Hashtag Real Talk Beyond the Headlines. Hashtag RTBTH. Hashtag Hot Takes. Hashtag Hot Takes Only.
I'm gonna just say laptop.
Yeah. So
I don't have to be anonymous. I'll just go by Frenchie.
cool. It's already recording.
that's
Actually.
what they know.
It's recording.
That's how they
We
know.
out here. This is Real Talk Beyond the Headlines with your boy Herschel and your boy Tunde.
Look how they're recording. Go
recording.
do it again. Do it again. I'm sorry.
Dude, all right. Rewind. Backtrack. We're doing this again, guys. This is Real Talk Beyond the Headlines. Woo!
Oh yeah.
Turn up.
Yeah. So what we got going on today?
Bro, first off, we are out here recording live and direct from DC this year.
Chocolate.
What's
City.
good? It's been a while. Been a while since we've been on tune. I had to come up, visit your boy for New Year's, man. So
Indeed.
we're obviously about to turn up for the New Year's weekend. We actually have some guests on the mic with us today.
Yes, we have some ladies.
Yes.
It's come to our attention that we need more ladies on the podcast. So thank
We
you.
have a lot of lady listeners, so I think it's good.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you guys for being here. Today we have some good friends, and we're talking about relationships. You know, we're just going to get into it. Are you in a relationship? This is Tunde and I'm not. I'm single.
Hold up, you got to introduce the guests first, man.
Oh.
We
yeah,
don't
you're
want to
right,
get
you're right.
into the.
You're right.
We want to give them an opportunity to
Okay.
talk. You know, let us know. Let the audience know
Okay,
who you
that'll
are.
be the introduction.
Hey y'all, it's Morgan Mignon, aka Frenchie.
Turn up, Frenchie. Hey.
Are you in a relationship? Isn't that the intro?
That's the intro.
Yes.
Oh, and yes, I am in a relationship.
Okay.
And is it wonderful? Is it everything you thought it would ever be?
Okay, well, there's no everything you thought it would ever be. It's not like I sit around thinking
Yo,
about.
Tunde already with the hard hitting questions. Wow.
Well, that-
Damn, let's warm up. Yeah, damn.
Right. What is everything you ever thought you ever wanted in your life? Like, bro.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get
Okay,
there.
all right.
Yeah, wait, backtrack.
Whoa,
And for our second guest.
I'm Megan. I'm Frenchie's sister,
Okay, so we got Megan and Morgan, sisters out here.
and I'm single.
Okay, very nice. So we're gonna have a couple of different opinions, hopefully, coming at you today. We've got a few questions and shit lined up, some interesting shit. It's probably been a couple of months since, I guess, Insecure Season 2 ended, but that shit was definitely a roller coaster this season. So we thought, that might spark some discussion that we really could have. We thought it'd be a great idea to have these beautiful ladies on the podcast with us today. Tune, you want to start it off?
Yeah, indeed. So did you guys watch Insecure Season 2?
Yes, we did.
And quick thoughts. What do you guys think? Season 2?
It was a lot going on. I actually am happy the way that it ended.
Mhm.
I felt like it was very realistic. It psyched a lot of people out with when he got down on his knee, and everybody thought that, like, some people thought that was real life. But that's,
We were talking about Lauren.
yeah, Lawrence.
Mhm.
Sorry, at the end when he proposed, she imagined him proposing. Some people actually thought that was real, but I had a feeling that couldn't have been. Like, it's not. Nothing is that perfect. This is real life. That show is supposed to be about a real story, and if he proposed, then it wouldn't have been real.
Yeah. So you felt it did portray like real emotion, real experiences, and then of course gave you, in that little kind of dream sequence or whatever, her idea of what would have been the perfect sequence, and you as an observer was like, yeah, that would never happen.
Yeah.
Would you say your team, Issa, or who is your team, Morgan as well?
Well, just to say, I was very disappointed with the entirety of Insecure Season 2. There was not that much development
Right.
in the plot. We were just looking at all these people fucking and sucking and being mad. Okay?
Okay.
So I'll just say that and then move along. But I don't have a team. I was Team Lawrence Season 1. I was Team Lawrence. But then he was on some like weak dick stuff season 2, and I was just like,
Okay, feel free to elaborate.
You heard it here for the first time ever. Real talk beyond the headlines.
I mean, well, first of all, with the whole like threesome thing with the white girls, I'm like, okay, well, if you're gonna do this, you gotta represent. You out here having us look
That
real
was
weak.
pretty weak, yeah.
Yes, and then he's over here with the like fake Lolo Jones looking Rashida Jones looking chick, and bringing her up in this private event. I'm like, yo, you just look so dumb. If you're gonna try to get back at Issa or Ho or do you and live your best life, do it. Why are you doing this all so that you can parade in front of your friends and you just look stupid? I'm like, you can just have your hoes do what you want to do and keep it pushing. It doesn't need to be geared towards Issa because then you're still giving her power.
Right.
So what's the point?
Absolutely. Yo, good comments. One thing that comes to mind that from Insecure season 2 was this concept of hotations. I really don't think I've heard of it.
Go for it. Go for it.
Indeed. I really don't think I was familiar with the hotation like prior.
You're a good guy, Tune. Ladies,
You heard
Tunde. He's new to DC.
Hey.
He got a nice spot we hear right now. I'm just saying, send some listener mail.
We like mail. Hit us up on the Twitter at RealTalkBTH. So, the question is, perhaps maybe y'all can just give a brief overview of what a hotation is. And then, is a hotation okay for men and or women? Is that cool? Is it okay to have a hotation?
I think hotations are essential to life and singleness. It's important to have a hotation because you want to avoid being in a relationship when you're not actually in a relationship.
Yes.
You cannot be committed to a single person as a single person. If you are going to be in a relationship, it needs to just be like, okay, this is what we're doing, or have a mutual understanding that we're not doing anyone else, but not just going through the motions. It needs to be building towards something together. If you have a hotation, it's like, don't be upset because I have a date with Jimmy, and then on Tuesday I have a date with Johnny, and then on Friday I'm fucking Jack because that's what I want to do. Like, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. And if people were more open to that idea, it would be a lot less possessive. Life would be a lot better because everyone would be busting more nuts. And it's just like so much more fun. So it's like,
yeah,
as long as there's respect and transparency, I don't think there's any issue, male, female, other, having a hotation.
I feel like there's a level of maturity required there that everybody who's either participating in a hotation or even like as a person who was picked up on that hotation, that they are just not ready to exhibit. Like, that's where the lack of maturity is where you run into the drama, where shit gets wild. So I feel you, but I think it's much easier said than done.
Because a lot of people lie. They lie.
Yeah.
And it's mostly y'all.
Oh, man.
And when I say y'all, I mean
Okay.
those who identify as male.
That's cool. Now, we did bring on these ladies to have some different opinions than, just us dudes just chopping it up, talking to our fans. So I'm not going to say it's good to hear you say that, but like, we want some conflict here. We want to hear y'all's side of the story.
Did you see some of that behavior in Lawrence in season 2? Like, lying and, maybe just not being the most forward and straight person in general. And as you said, us of the male variety, that's how we roll.
He was confused from jump, just breaking up. He was confused and hurt in the first place. He didn't even know what he wanted from the girls because he was so used to being in a relationship for so long, so he just fell into that with the girl from the bank. He just fell into that with
Tasha.
her.
Woo, I ain't gonna forget Tasha.
Man,
With
Tasha
the
nipples
is
piercings
hard
and
as
that ass.
hell.
She was bad.
Okay. And she told him about himself, and she was very accurate.
He's going
And
to the
all of
family
that.
barbecue. What are
Like,
you
you
doing
can't
here?
do that. And then
Why is she
leave.
inviting you? You look dumb.
Yeah, it was much more
Silly as
than
hell.
what he was ready for. That kind of reminds me of a term that I heard recently. Have you guys ever heard of the term, and is Lawrence this a serial relationshipist? Where he was in this one, just as you
Serial
mentioned,
dater.
serial dater, sure. Where he was in this long-ass relationship, he was used to that. That's what he was looking for. He got out of that and immediately got into something kind of comfortable with, I forget her name, but old girl from the bank, Tasha. Yeah. And then right after that, somebody else close by, his coworker. Oh, Rashida Jones looking. Do you feel like he fits that mold?
No.
And or if describe like what that would be, because I'm still kind of
a serial dater.
Okay.
Is someone who is gonna call, like, you turn around and they got a new girlfriend, like actual like straight up girlfriend. He wasn't calling none of those girls his girlfriend, and he was. I feel like, or at least I don't think he was. I didn't get that impression. Does
that mean Tasha was too familiar though? Because she was inviting him to like girlfriend-esque things.
She was.
No?
She was.
Okay.
It was too soon
for
that. She knows that he just got out of that big relationship. She knew that he was.
Okay, so she enabled him. So y'all are saying it wasn't all on him. That's
oh
what
no,
I'm trying to get
it was
to.
not all on
him. It's always
equal parts Tasha, equal parts Lauren.
Okay.
He just busted down and she was all. Because homeless man dick is like the best, they say, because they need some place to sleep. So if they put your ass to sleep, they could just slide right next to you. But that's why she was caught up like that.
That's real, real talk beyond the headlines. Speak your truth, yeah.
She almost made me spit my drink.
Okay, so we haven't discussed the other relationship that's prevalent within Insecure. How do you guys feel about Molly's relationship with a married man throughout this past season? Obviously, we're like mad into it, but spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't watched that shit. But like, fuck y'all. It's been like a goddamn year. What are y'all doing? If you
haven't watched it by now, fuck y'all.
Listen to this podcast, go back and watch it, and then come listen to the podcast again. You'll know exactly what we're talking about.
How I feel about Molly. Okay, first of all, with Dre's Space Jam Mondo star looking face ass.
Wow, he does look like old boy. Oh my god.
No. Say that again, please.
Space Jam Mondo star looking face ass. Because I know everyone loves. They want to think he's what's his name?
Just
Dro.
because he got a deep voice.
Yes, Dro.
And he was tall. He's tall. He's light skinned, but
lanky.
I mean, we don't have to put him out here as a sex symbol. Like, he can just be a married dude that she's fucking for character development. Like, but the thing with that is the relationship that Dro has with his wife. Everyone has their own name for it, but I feel like a lot of people on Twitter and everything were misnaming that relationship. A lot of people were saying, is he in an open relationship? Is he a polygamist? Is he polyamory? All those things are very different. If you're in an open relationship, that means that you're okay having sex with other people. Polyamory is more so you're multiple relationships with different people. Polygamous, obviously, like married to all these different people and we're all together in one thing. Those have all very different connotations, and one is very dangerous to lump them all into one because there are a lot of different expectations that go along with every single person involved in all those different spaces. What he is doing with Molly is not an open marriage, because an open marriage is simply I can go and have sex with these other people. He's drawing Molly baths, fucking Molly while the wife is at the table, going to Molly's parents' anniversary dinner. That's very different than just an open marriage. And since we don't know what his wife knows, we don't know where this path goes, if there are other Mollys, if there will be more Mollys. So we just need more resolution and development around that before we can really decide what's going on. But right now, she's a side bitch. Yeah. And she's okay being a side bitch because she gets fucked in a bathroom and left like one. And that's okay. And if that's what you want, that's okay. You can do that. But don't be mad if someone comes across your head with a frying pan when she finds out.
Right. I don't think his wife has any idea. Honestly, I think he's bullshitting. And I think she trusts him because they grew up together. And that's why he was at the anniversary dinner. I think she just trusts him too much. And I don't believe that she has a clue as to how deep their relationship goes. Because if I was his wife and he all of a sudden starts fucking his
childhood friend.
It's not a stranger.
That is a deep friendship, and now you're having sex and you're making that even deeper. I'm not going to be okay with that as a wife.
I'm assuming y'all have seen Power, where literally the exact same thing happened.
Don't get me started on Power and Angela, dumbass.
Oh, please go in one time, if you don't mind.
Because look, it's very difficult to be team anybody on Power, other than Team Tommy until he killed Holly.
No. Holly had to die.
Holly did have to die. Holly had to go, but that was a little rough.
You be making some dumb decisions.
But for me, when I started Power, I was obviously Team Tasha because I'm like, look, if you want to do this, do it, but you need to break off everything at home. You need to tell your kids what's going on, and you need to go ahead and do it. You got Angela watching the kids without Tasha permission, bringing guns to school and all this stuff. No, absolutely not. And I hate Angela from a professional standpoint. As an attorney, you should never jeopardize your entire, like, you go through so much to be an attorney. You take all these tests, and she's in New York. You take a lot of tests to be an attorney in New York. Right. All these ethical things. You got to go on interviews with people ethically. And then she's in a wonderful position as a DA. And then here she comes.
She just threw that all out the window.
For some dick and a popsicle. She's so stupid. And
man,
so
it was a great popsicle.
I don't know. I'm sure there was a popsicle in there.
There was no popsicle.
So
he be eating lollipops on that show. I seen it.
So with Insecure season 2, you know, with Molly's situation, I don't really think I was like too familiar with polyamory. You know, prior to that, you know, just doing a little research. And Frenchie, you gave us a little bit of an education.
She broke it down, right?
She broke it down.
Like,
hey, don't act like you didn't learn something on Real Talk Beyond the Headlines. So, you know, I believe that modern relationships are evolving. Personally, I see non-marriage, whatever that is, as viable. It could be polygamy, polyamory, being single forever, you know, it's viable. It's not, you can only be in a marriage. And that's something that I've learned, that I've begun to embrace lately.
That's feminism at work.
Okay. Hey, I'm a feminist, #feminism. So, you know, I believe that I'm evolving as a person. Wow, that actually right here. So, you know, I want to know, like, what do you guys think about these different kinds of relationships? Why do you think perhaps it's a little bit difficult for us to accept it? You know, with Molly's situation, you know, if she just wanted to fuck and that's it, this guy that she's comfortable with, then so be it.
It's the honesty part.
Yeah.
It'd be different if his wife knew. I'm totally for the Molly Drill situation.
Absolutely.
We don't know that. So that's why I'm on the fence.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do I think, so is the question, do I think non-marriage or like non-traditional relationships are
Yeah. I mean, like, you know, what's the key to make them successful? Like, why do you think our culture has not really embraced it? Because I view them as viable. I don't know what y'all think. I think they're viable options.
I know plenty of my friends who are in non-traditional relationships and they're very viable.
But it's still a little taboo.
It's a little taboo. I think it's because everyone grows up, well, not everyone, but most people grow up looking at their mom and their dad, and, or at least they know that they have a mom and a dad, and the traditional, like, this is how marriage was defined, literally, like, by law. Yeah. This is how religion defines marriage, and then this is what you are supposed, like, socialized to have to grow up to be, to aspire to like, find another mate, whether it's a male or a female, whether it's hetero or homosexual, to find one person and sit down and build something with them. Yeah. I think the reason why it's becoming more viable to have something that breaks that mold is because of, one, the individual stability that you can offer, that every person can now offer themselves. It used to be that women were attached to men through marriage. When they died, all of their property went to their husband. All of the work that they've done for their entire lives, all the money and property that their father left them would not be in their name. It would go to their husband. He would manage all of it. So they didn't even have jobs that women could have that would provide for themselves. So they would literally have to get married if they wanted to provide anything for their children or for themselves. Obviously, yes, that's changing a lot now. It's changed far enough back that now that women, you know, higher rates in college, all that kind of stuff, yada yada, great stuff, still glass ceiling, but we're doing a lot better.
Do your Googles.
We're doing a lot better. So it's like women are now like, okay, well, whatever, you know, I can do what I want to do, and whether that's be single or not, I can do it. And so
right.
I think
hold on. Okay. I just have to say to the people listening to our podcast that Morgan is a lawyer. Her sister is a doctor to be. So, you know, what you said is this is what we got.
Yeah.
You can be what you want. And y'all are that. So
Thank
sorry
you.
to cut you off.
No, it's
Keep
good.
going. Keep going.
But I feel like it's still a little taboo because it's not by what I'm saying is it's not by any means new. People have been doing this for like a really, really long time. Actually, I was listening to another podcast, and the guy who created like Wonder Woman was in a polyamory relationship. He had a wife, and then he also had another like girlfriend that lived with them, and like they were hooking up too, and like they had like their whole household, and they kept it under wraps a lot.
Really?
Wonder Woman has a lot of like bondage, like traditionally bondage influence and stuff. Lasso, rope, little
the chains,
all that kind of stuff. Tidbit for you. So it's not that it's new, it's just that I think people are talking about it more.
I feel like America is most recently going through like essentially a sexual revolution. You guys both being in careers that are very prominent, very great. I feel like this is also a kind of one of the first times in history where women are doing those things, having their own careers, and are starting to keep their own name. You just mentioned like in the past, a woman would die and all her belongings would go on to the male, or, you know, she would literally lose her name during the marriage process. I gotta ask you guys, since you guys are being, you know, prominent, just dominant in these careers, would you take on someone else's last name?
That's a tough one, because Dr. Monroe sounds really good.
It does, yeah.
So I have worked really hard to get to where I'm at, but then my dad doesn't have any sons. So I was talking, we were talking to each other about it in front of my dad. We were all talking about it together. And my dad was like, I don't care. It's just some slave owner's name anyway. And I was like, you are absolutely right. But I've also, like, I've grown up with this, like, this is my name.
Megan Monroe sounds so good.
Right.
Both of y'all's names actually sound beautiful.
Some people don't even believe that it's actually my name.
Or it's a porn star name. That's what I get.
There is a porn star. She's a white lady.
Okay.
That's the first thing that comes up. I Google my name sometimes.
Okay.
But if I really have no idea.
Okay. I guess there may be a time.
Because the hyphening sounds weird, and it's like, what do my kids get then? Like, what do we all have different?
Yeah.
It's weird.
And I would totally understand as well, like, you've got patients that are familiar with you, would be familiar with you as Dr. Monroe or Lord.
I will be keeping my name professionally. I will always be Morgan Monroe Esquire. And then my kids will have their father's last name, and I'm torn, but usually I think I'm legally gonna change it and just not ever go by it. I'm totally okay with that. I know it's a whole feminism rah-rah, you're Mr. and Mrs. blah blah blah, and now you lost your identity, but like my dad said, he doesn't care. It's a slave name. I don't know. See, another thing to consider is, would I be changing from like one slave name to another? Or would I be changing to something with, some people have very deep rooted history in their last name, and it's very important to them. Currently my boyfriend is not African American, so his name is not a slave name, and it's like his granddad was born in like the Ottoman Empire or some weird shit. I don't know.
Okay.
And so I'm like, that's, seems a little intense. Like, y'all have some lineage there. Maybe that would be important. But either way, like, the kids would have it. So I think that's really what people care about.
I kind of feel like I'm in a weird position because my last name is definitely a slave name. My last name is Smith, for the listeners out there who don't know me. But the rest of my name just carries so much prestige. Like, it's kind of been passed down.
Wait.
What's up?
What is that name?
Oh, my God. Okay.
The fourth,
well,
right?
I didn't brought it up now. My full name is Herschel Wellington Smith IV.
Oh, that's a made-up black folk name.
Apparently they made it up 200 years ago and just stuck with it.
It's good, but
it's lit.
good.
It's whatever. I mean, shit, I had some light-skinned great-grandfathers, so, it might be some white folks back up in there somewhere. Yeah, you never know. We dark as fuck now, but, you never know what the past held. But I feel like that is a really tough conversation, just a really tough situation that you have to have, or a conversation you have to have with whomever you may be going into that endeavor with.
Don't let it be a surprise at the courthouse.
Yeah, and at the same time, it's 2017, about to be 2018. Marriages end. You don't want to have added your name to somebody and then, God forbid, knock on wood, it doesn't work out.
Oh, if they famous, I'm taking that name. If they famous, I'm gonna take it.
Okay. Now, since you mentioned dating someone famous or marrying someone famous, something like that, how do you feel about, again, because you guys are both in prominent careers, how do you feel about dating down? Does someone have to make as much money as you do?
Wait, hold on,
more?
hold on,
Okay.
Herschel.
Too quick?
So, no. I think that we have to, like, great question. Dating down is loaded.
I don't like the term dating down because it
Okay.
makes it seem like money is the only thing someone brings to a relationship.
Yes. So let's hash that out. Personally, I believe I don't want to use the term dating down, but if you were to define it, it would be someone who doesn't bring as much value to the relationship. It doesn't have to necessarily be financial.
Monetary value?
It doesn't have to be financial.
Can we agree that marriage is a partnership though?
Yes,
It should
absolutely,
be.
absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But it's like,
Some
how much
partnership.
value do you bring to this partnership?
Okay.
It could be financially, it could be social capital. I believe is like the most valuable thing anyone could actually have in life. So do you have a whole bunch of friends and you can always do something while your partner, so we'll stick with finances. If you are out here making like hundreds of thousands of dollars and your partner is making $100,000, like what? How does that feel for you as women who are working in prominent careers, who have huge aspirations and goals? Is that something that you can embrace? Can you embrace a stay-at-home dad?
Yeah. I think I can embrace a stay-at-home dad. Okay, that sounded like a lie, didn't it? I don't know.
Yeah, you didn't believe that. It wasn't convincing.
First of all, this podcast is going to go up and everyone's going to get on Twitter like, I'm trying to be your stay-at-home dad.
Yeah, what's
girl.
good? Yeah.
No.
She going to be like...
Yep.
No,
You'll have your pick of the litter. What's up?
So here it is. I'm working real hard now and I'm getting tired already. So it would be cool if I didn't have to work this hard forever and I could just, dial it back a little bit and be at a few recitals and stuff. I'm gonna be probably gonna be like a surgeon or something. So I don't know how many recitals I'm gonna go to, but if I could like dial it back a little bit and be able to spend a little bit more time with my kids, because family is extremely important to me. I have a really strong, loving, beautiful family. Mm-hmm. So in order to keep that going with my kids, I have to be there. Mm-hmm. So I would love to, marry someone that could hold it down for a little while, because I'm going to get bored. Like, the kids go off to college or something, whatever. Like, I'm not going to just be twiddling my thumbs or whatever. But I would like to have someone that if something happens, he can still support make me comfortable in the lifestyle that I'm used to.
Megan also is very great with kids, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Megan is very good with this.
Okay, so the thing that is like sort of interesting for me is that, when I've had conversations with people, women and men, it's like the types of relationships that as we spoke about earlier, polyamory, polygamy, open relationships, open marriages is more acceptable. People can embrace it more, but I believe that it's actually kind of challenging and hard for women to embrace the breadwinner. I'm that dude. My bad. I'm that bitch.
Why doesn't he have to be that?
I'm that woman.
Thank you.
JK. I'm that woman. Like the actual
I could do it. Because
both of y'all, it sounds like hesitancy.
No, there is no hesitation.
Okay.
I could
Let's
do
hear
it. Because let's be realistic. I am already earning a lot, and I know what I'm going to be earning for the next 7 years. They lay it out. You can Google it. Like, they tell everybody else. It's a lot to live up to, and it's not realistic. I already know all the people that I would have access to, like, or almost all of them, because DC is not that big. Mm-hmm. Obviously there's New York and all that kind of stuff. But I do not want to have, like, when we're young, yes, it will work with someone working my same schedule. I'm going to be working so many hours, like 2,000 billable hours. Sounds like it doesn't make sense to anybody listening to this if they're not like an attorney, but that's a lot of freaking hours. Like, that's just a lot of time to be annually. Okay. 2,000 hours annually. Okay. So that's like averaging like 8 billables 5 days a week, but like that's not just time you're in the office. That's time you're doing client work.
Okay.
And so that's just a lot of freaking time. And it's like not really realistic to be in big law and your partner is in big law and you have these small children and, you know, unless you're just paying so much money for a nanny or this or that. So I would be okay with someone earning a lot less than me if I feel like you're still adding value in other ways. And that's why I'm like the dating down term is a misnomer, because my mom stayed home while my dad was working and she added way more value than she would have been adding if she went to work. And because my mom is more educated than my father. My mother has a master's in pharmacy. My dad has a master's in accounting, but like she does like a little bit more. Hers is a little more specialized. I'll say that. And she could have went, and where she works now, she has a very flexible job now, and she travels a lot, does a lot of work. She added more value to the partnership and our lives she did by being at home than she did by going out and working, when she could have been making, you know, a good amount. If she would have stayed on her track, she could have been making a very large amount of money. So
sounds like Mrs. Monroe is lit.
She's so lit. I love her so much. My parents are literally
so cute.
the best.
Like, mom is cute.
She's single?
Right.
No,
No,
I'm
I just told you my parents are the best.
I'm
Like, he holds
just-
it down, so don't ever come for
They've been
me.
married for 30 years.
30 years.
That's excellent. That is excellent.
And my mom is like the realest person ever. My best friend from high school, Michaela's in the room with us now, and she can attest to how much my mom is like that chick. Like,
All of
she
our friends.
is
She'll
just
be that.
down.
She'll step in and be that woman figure or that companion that all of our friends need
At any time.
At any time if they come to her. Like, we were away at school and stuff was going on between both
They
of our
at
best
the house
friends that we didn't even know about, and our mom is just handling it.
Yeah. So I would definitely be okay with the breadwinner role. I would still want to take off for like when my kids were very, very young and have the cushion to be able to do that.
Yeah.
If you're contributing to the house, that's great. But right now, I'm 25 years old. There's like there's not that much house to contribute. So like you have to be doing something. Like you have
Absolutely.
Because I like going on vacation. I like eating out. I like going to fancy gyms.
You like nice things.
I like nice
Of course.
things.
Hey, this is Real Talk Behind the Headlines, guys. Yo, if y'all trying to come in Morgan, yo, come correct. Vacations, eating out, you know, just keep that in mind.
Fancy gyms.
Fancy
I'm
gyms.
trying to be at Equinox level one day, not now.
We on the way. So, last topic. You guys are beautiful people. So, you know, I was on a date once.
Just one time, listeners. Just one time.
There was a date that I went on. I had acquired this date via dating app.
Tinder?
It was Bumble.
Oh, you was. Oh, Bumble.
Yes, I'm classy.
That's a little more hand holding, not dick rubbing.
I'm classy, okay? So this person that I was on the date with, she was black, and you know, it came up in conversation that she is a conservative.
Okay.
How conservative?
Well, I think her
Like she
conservative
conserves her
values.
funds, like she don't like to spend a lot of money.
I think it was more like finance, like, you know, smaller government, you know, not all these entitlements, not conservative in like socially or racially or anything like that. Yeah, I don't think so. But you know, I had sort of like become familiar with the idea of dating a conservative. Like, is that a thing? Like, could I actually do that? Like, someone who's like legit conservative, like this, I'm a Republican, you know, and look, you heard it here for the first time ever. 100,000% liberal. Yo, Antifa, that's me. That's me, like straight up. I'm 100% liberal. I'm all the way to the left. You know what I'm saying? So, also, you could probably even consider this.
Are you a Bernie bro, Tunde?
Bernie is that dude. I voted for him in the primary, but I
Okay.
voted for Hillary, obviously.
All right, we with you, bruh. Pound it.
So, I mean, could you guys like step out of like your, you know, I suppose belief system, you know, maybe to be with someone who's a conservative or not the same religion as you. You know what I'm saying? Like, how evolved have we come? You know what I'm saying? Because it was very difficult for me to wrap my head around dating the conservative. I was like, whoa, check please. You know?
Yeah.
But like, how do y'all feel about that?
I can date. Well, you asked a lot of questions at one time. It depends on which views you're okay with not aligning. I dated an atheist for 5 years. It was totally fine.
Okay.
It came down to, would you allow our kids to be raised religiously or not? A lot of the atheists I meet are some of the most moral people. I understand why people can be anti-establishment religion, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
When it comes to things like politics, it's a little more dicey, right? Because that has like very tangible effects on people's lives that I care about. Like, oh, this low income woman of color who needs an abortion can't get one because you don't think she should have one. You personally don't think your money should go there. Or to raise her kids when she has it. That's a little bit different for me, and that's just personal. I know some people weigh the religion thing a lot more than I do. My mom would like kill me if she heard me saying any of this. But I would not be able to date someone who voted for Donald Trump or people that vote against my beliefs in that regard, because it's not a theory for me. Mm-hmm. A lot of people that I feel that are conservative have a very theoretical instead of pragmatic approach to these policies. It's like, we're not talking about just smaller government or we shouldn't give this much money to Planned Parenthood. It's like, I've been to Planned Parenthood. I've taken friends to Planned Parenthood. I know people who have had their abortions at Planned Parenthood personally. And they would not have been able to go if they were not funded or if they were shut down or, had to walk past picket lines of people with like remains and stuff.
Yeah.
Abortion is murder.
Horrible things.
Like shit on outside.
Yeah.
So it's not just, oh, these people and these immigrants and it's like John, Becky, this, like all these different people. It's like individuals' lives that you're just like, screw you, I don't care about, and I'm not okay with that. Because if you look those people in the face and say that, you don't need to be around me. So that's why I would not be able to date someone who votes that way.
Okay, all right. Thank you for your input. It's like definitely levels. Like someone could be conservative fiscally, maybe have a little bit more liberal social values. But, it was like, I think we have similar reactions. Like when she said that, I was like, how conservative are you really?
So why is that coming up? What happened? What did you say today?
It's DC.
It is DC. We talked about transsexuals on my very first date with my boyfriend. And, we had the same view. I don't know how we got to transsexuals or atheism or Christianity or any of that stuff. Yeah. But, he's a non-black, so I had to make sure that he wasn't a Trumpy before I go any further.
Of course.
Yes, absolutely.
So
somebody out here just looking for another Amoroso?
He's actually a Hotep non-black. I don't understand.
Really?
Wow.
We were watching Thor, and I was like, Chris Hemsworth, he is so attractive. Like, I just think he's so attractive and blah, blah, blah. He's like, you only think he's attractive because society told you should like blonde hair and blue eyes.
I like this guy.
Who are you? Cool. He's like, and muscles, and that's what society tells you should like. I said, oh no.
He tries to show you all the new Spike Lee joints. Have y'all watched She's Gotta Have It on Netflix?
I don't like it.
You don't like it? Oh.
There's nothing going on. My best friend loves it.
She watched like 2 episodes.
3.
No, you didn't, because she complained about it all and just didn't get it. I'm like, it's going to pick up. She was like, nah, whatever. And then we was watching it with her dad, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, she tried to have me watch it with my father.
First of all, I didn't put the shit on. Somebody
idea.
went to watch it, but it was an awkward scene to watch.
Do you guys want to describe for us, for the audience, what She's Gotta Have It is?
She had a hotation. And she did it, I feel like she did it pretty well.
She's fucking a gay man.
What? No,
oh,
it was gay.
Spoiler alert. I don't know. I haven't watched it all the way through. I don't know.
Okay. He was not gay. He was just
very
stylish and loved himself a lot. He really loved himself.
It's a character. All the characters are caricatures of people or things. Yeah. And I'm like, I understand. That's how Spike Lee does his thing. Yeah. That's how he operates and directs. It just wasn't, there was not enough development plot-wise for me. Let's take it back, Insecure season 2. I want things to happen. I want people to do things. I want there to be some kind of intricate development of a story. I like, what is that? What is it? What is the Freytag pyramid? I want stuff to go up. I want stuff to go down. I want to know what's going on.
Absolutely.
And you want a well-told story.
Plot.
Yeah.
Introduction, rise in action, climax.
So it was
falling, whatever.
Resolution,
Yeah.
Okay. So to wrap it up, I just want to get Megan's view on the conservative conversation. Frenchie, the sister, you gave us a very great description, and you know, I feel you. You know, I feel you. Like I just couldn't do it. Someone who came and said they voted for Donald Trump, nah.
Out of my life.
Yes. So how do you feel about that?
I agree with that statement. Like, so if somebody like came and wanted to be with me, but they voted for somebody who was like so anti me, like the antithesis.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know how to say that word.
Antithesis.
Thank you. Of me, like I could not get in a relationship with them. I've never I'm pretty simple. I've only dated like Black Christian men. Like I've never dated somebody who wasn't Christian or like wasn't really Black. I was open to it recently. Yeah.
Okay, story
There's
to
a
tell.
cute redhead boy at Megan's school. He's listening.
Okay.
Shoot your
Wait, don't say that.
Shoot your shot.
We haven't said
Not
what
true.
school you're at or anything.
Yeah,
You're
I know.
good.
No.
Anonymity here on the internet.
I'm gonna send it to him his email.
Anyway, I don't know if it would. I've never really been like that close to somebody to get into a relationship with them. So I don't want to say that I wouldn't date somebody who was conservative or somebody like who was a different religion than me.
Yeah.
As long as, like I said, like I was talking to one of my classmates about, she's a conservative, like she voted for Trump and she doesn't care if her grandma dies because her grandma is like on health, like the Medicare, Medicaid health system.
If you don't care about your grandma, you damn sure don't care about me, Becky.
Right, like she has said everybody knows that she doesn't care if her grandma dies and thinks her grandma should die.
Terrible.
She's so like she's a burden on the system. Her grandma is a burden on the system, and if she can't afford her health care, it's not a right, and she should just wither away.
Her own grandmother, having lost our grandmother a month ago, about 5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
This woman said about her own grandma. Don't talk to me, yo. Don't
so
talk
I
to
couldn't
me.
date somebody who has that different of views of things like family and just what it means to be a good person. But I know, I'm open to it. We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, well, unless you have any other questions tuned in, or if you guys have some questions for us, I know you guys have been doing a lot of talking. We do have a few more interviews and questions lined up for the weekend. So there are going to be some more podcasts coming out this weekend. Listeners, definitely stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button. Check us out on Twitter, RealTalk BTH, at RealTalk BTH. Do you guys want to shout out y'all's Twitters one time?
Well, I was shouted out on this podcast before, but Tuna does not know how to say my Twitter. So.
Okay. Okay, correct that, please.
It's totally fine. So it's Morgla Mignon. So it's MORGLAMIGNONNE, and it will be added with this episode, so you don't have to worry about trying to spell or remember that.
Excellent. We'll make the work easy for you guys. Don't worry.
My Twitter my Twitter is Megan No Good, MEGAN. No Good, no H, no extra H and A and all that stuff. I spell my name the correct way. Instagram.
Is that a little shade against Megan Good? Is that ooh?
Just a tad.
Okay. Well, you heard it here first. Thanks for listening. Once again, check us out. Peace.
This is Real Talk Beyond the Headlines. You guys are so funny. Thank you for tuning in today. Go ahead and hit us up on social media. Let us know what you think. Drop some of your own comments, some of your hashtag hot takes. This is Real Talk Beyond the Headlines. Hashtag RTBTH. Hashtag you heard it here for the first time ever. Real Talk Beyond the Headlines.
Pretty legit. It came through on this one.
Yeah. So this is Real Talk Beyond the Headlines. This is our second relationship podcast and featuring all women as our guests because we want to hear what they have to say. It's important. And today we have Lauren, who went to college with us at Emory University.
Hello,
You
hello,
know,
hello.
we're out here doing it big.
Okay.
Lauren, what's up?
What's going on?
I mean, we're just cooling in DC. Young Herschel came to visit me.
Had to come through, turn up one time for the new year.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
I would say that you missed out on the cold, but actually you just went towards the cold. It's like 30 degrees in Atlanta, and it's supposed to be getting colder, but I guess that's just light work for you guys in DC.
Yeah, so it's definitely below 20. It's been below 20 like all week. But you know, me and Herschel got our whiskey jackets on, so it's all good.
You already know.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it's still not enough. I need more whiskey, I think, and then I'll be okay.
You definitely do. They say it's 4 to 6 shots equals 1 coat for the new year. So.
Oh, okay.
You drink accordingly. I'm sure you're gonna surpass it, but just make sure you have at least 4 under your belt before you step out.
Gotcha. You heard it here for the first time ever. Real Talk Beyond the Headlines. Okay.
At least 4 shots. At least. You might have to double that. We'll see. It's like 14 degrees outside.
I said that was just before you leave the house. No one said for the night.
Yes.
I know how you roll, Herschel.
Hey man, turn up.
So let's get into it. Did you watch season 2 of Insecure?
Of course I did. I love Issa and the whole cast, and of course I was one of the people who was furiously tweeting during each episode each week, like, girl, okay, it's about 10 o'clock, I got to get home. So I'm definitely part of the Insecure fan club tribe or whatever they call themselves. I'm not part of the Lawrence tribe because but yeah, I was definitely an Insecure.
Would you say are you team Issa?
I can't really be team anybody because everybody's doing nothing up, man. Everybody.
Okay.
I definitely feel like I have some sympathy for Lawrence that some people don't.
Okay, so let's get into that. What's your sympathy for Lawrence, and what do you feel like other people are coming hard on this guy for?
Well, like I said, everybody on the show is pretty flawed. Everyone has their own issues. So to say one person, it's not black and white. It's not oh, they're so bad or they're so wrong. On one hand, yes, Lawrence did suck as a boyfriend, but he was also sucking at life. So it's not it was maliciously done towards Issa, so to speak. But I mean, I feel Sasha hit it right on the head. He's a fuck nigga. You're a nice dude or you think you're a nice guy, but you're really a fuck nigga. But I mean, that's also, I guess life. I guess that's dating, so to speak. He was so afraid of quote unquote hurting her feelings that he just did what he wanted to do anyway, which hurt her feelings, and it would have been easier if he'd have just said something. But I mean, all in all, I think they're just kind of growing pains.
Yeah.
So that doesn't absolve him of anything that he's done, but I don't think it necessarily puts him out as oh gosh, we can never fuck with Lawrence ever again. But I do not want to see Issa and Lawrence come back together for a third season. That definitely does not need to happen.
Yeah, me neither. We can just go ahead and dead that. But since we discussed,
but there's so many girls that are oh, but I think they're meant to be, and I'm rolling my eyes so hard.
Yeah.
Girl, let it go.
So you weren't believing any of that whole dream sequence that Issa had about him marrying her, all that?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
As soon as it happened, I knew. And that really sad moment that she had, that's the only thing that really stood out to me about that whole sequence scene. But no, I knew as soon as it happened that this was a dream. This was not real.
Yeah, so since we've discussed some of Lawrence's development throughout the show, one thing we definitely wanted to talk to you about is Issa's development, particularly her little hotation. Did you have any comments on, because I know it's kind of been a little point of contention. Some people have been all for it. She should definitely express herself, Other people have been a little more reserved. What are your thoughts? What's your take?
My ideas about Issa, I feel like her biggest character flaw or issue is that she does not know how to admit fault. So, I feel like her hotation, it was a great idea in theory, but, not everybody has it in them to host. You just got to know yourself.
Yeah, that's
And I
real.
mean, she got a little apartment bay or whatever, and of course, her going back and forth with Daniel, which I mean, I was kind of rooting for Daniel, but then again, I also don't want Issa to be like Lawrence and hurt Daniel the way Tasha got hurt. So, I mean, yeah, I like the idea of a rotation for Issa, but then obviously her doing it in practice was not at all what she thought it was going to be. Which, I mean, I guess she kind of needed to go through that too, but it was a good idea. It just wasn't that successful. I'm still going to say she had a successful rotation at all. And she crashed her car behind a dick pic, which, I mean, she just went out bad.
Yeah. Wait. What was that last part? What about the dick pic?
You didn't remember, like, the last episode, the second last episode, she got a dick pic, and then she, like, crashed into the back of the car. That's how she totaled her car.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she was just kind of mishandling the whole situation.
She just went out bad, man.
Yeah.
Even the awkward selfie in the bathroom, just so much awkwardness, which obviously that's where Issa Rae comes from. And I believe she's probably just awkward in real life, but no.
Right. So great take. One thing that we've been exploring while recording this podcast is like just sort of like people becoming a little bit more liberal with their sexuality, trying different relationships. It was always so taboo for a girl back in the day to like, have a couple relationships or sleep with a couple dudes. It was always looked down on, but I think the concept of a rotation has made it a little bit more acceptable. One thing we've talked about a little bit is like, non-marriage, which could be polygamy, it could be polyamory, it could be an open marriage or something like that. And me personally, I definitely am very open to non-marriage. I see it as a viable option. So like, how do you feel about that? Matter of fact, are you in a relationship?
Yes, I am in a relationship, and then you're going to have to repeat the second question because I'm not exactly sure which one you wanted to answer. There's a lot.
How do you feel about polyamorous relationships?
Again, in theory, they sound pretty good. I think the biggest issue in a lot of polyamorous relationships is the whole jealousy thing. Just having to control, like, how you feel about someone just because, I mean, we've all been kind of conditioned for, like, a monogamous relationship, so you just expect for your partner to only just want you, which is completely unrealistic. But, yeah, I think that's probably, like, the biggest issue in polyamorous relationships is just having to control your jealousy towards the other partners, quote unquote, in a thing. But I think if everyone can kind of like keep that in check and just have like an open communication with each other, which I think is the biggest thing. I think a lot of like Will and Jada Smith, when they talk about having an open relationship, and of course everyone's like, oh, because they're swingers, which they very well might be, and they're grown-ass people, so they can do what they want to when they're two consenting adults doing whatever with whatever consenting adults. But I think her bigger point in talking about it was that they're open in their communication and how they allow each other to just be, even though they've had like, rough patches in their relationships. For the most part, the point of it being open is so that they can feel like they're breathing and that they can be a whole person without having to like conform to a mold in which their ideas of marriage were before they actually got with the person.
Yeah, that's actually a great point. I'm glad you shouted out Will and Jada that's a great example of it working properly. Me personally, I feel like, just as you said, it takes a level of, understanding. I feel like I'm too selfish for some shit like that. I actually experienced or I was present for my first experience of people in a polyamorous relationship trying to pick up an additional person into their relationship, and it almost seemed like they were just trying to have sex. They weren't trying to have a relationship. They were just trying to add somebody else to the team. But what I found interesting was one person had additional girlfriends on the side, and then the other person shared some of those girlfriends, but still also had some of their own people as well. And this is a gay relationship, so I guess they're all girlfriends within there. But
Okay.
it was interesting, like the web of sexual partners that was really getting involved and how aggressive they were trying to recruit somebody else on the team. I was just kind of laughing to myself like, damn, they're just throwing all this attention, all this energy. And the person being picked up was like just eating it up. She was loving it. You can be drunk or whatever. People enjoy attention. They were all
Yeah.
attractive people, so I'm sure she wasn't fading away. But later, I spoke to her the next day. Later, she was definitely like, "Yeah, I was just in the moment. I don't think." She had to send some annulment texts. Let's say that.
I know like
Yes.
yesterday was this, but yeah,
Yes.
nah, bro, I can't do it. You gotta back out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to backtrack a little bit. Lauren, you mentioned how with like any sort of open relationship, polyamory, polygamy, where, it's not a definite one partner deal. You kind of have to overcome issues of jealousy. And the last time I had a relationship, which was 2 years ago, that was like something that was hugely hard for me to overcome sometimes. Whenever I got suspicious or jealous, it was really challenging and it was really hard. And I realized it's easier to just not be jealous. Easier said than done. So for the people listening to this podcast, Lauren, like, how can you, or how do you think, you kind of like overcome that jealousy? I know that I know that you're not like in an open relationship, but with your intellect, what do you think?
Jealousy is not like something that like only happens in polyamorous relationships. Like you just said, you were in a relationship where you were jealous of the attention your girlfriend was getting or whatever. I think that, I guess on the other side of jealousy is like some type of insecurity. And I think the biggest thing for me anyway is just having a knowledge of self. So, I can't speak on your relationship, but because I don't think I get very jealous, but at the same time, I feel like I'm pretty secure in my relationship. So, if someone thinks my boyfriend is cute, yeah, I know, girl, I do too. That's why I'm with him. So I get it.
Okay.
But
All
yeah,
right.
I think that's the thing is like when you are self-aware and you know what your insecurities are. Not to say that you should just never have insecurities, and that's stupid. But just, again, we're human. So if you know that you're not doing so great in this area, again, open communication, talk with your partner, let them know how you feel about things. But I don't know. I guess having jealousy and projecting that on the other people who are not in your relationship is a little crazy to me.
Okay. Hashtag hot takes. Good stuff.
Yeah.
I do not speak on behalf of like all women everywhere. This is just how I feel.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Well, that's why we have you on the podcast, because we want different opinions. We want intelligent opinions. And yours is valued. So
Yeah. I feel like
Thanks, guys.
essentially
I feel so valued.
no problem. Anytime. Another reason we brought you on today was to discuss an interesting conversation that developed amongst us a few weeks ago pertaining to quantum thought mechanics. So I'm gonna break down how we even got into this.
I
And
really wish I could see my face as the word quantum thought
yes,
physics. Is that what you say? Quantum thought theory?
there's a little bit of theory. People may have have PhDs or advanced level degrees in thoughtiness.
Layer of hating degree.
Yes, we were actually going to discuss a little Thoughty Hall of Fame. If you might have some entries for us, I thought of a few myself.
Okay.
But essentially,
All right.
this kind of came about because a few friends of mine, we share a few like high school friends. Well, it was a high school acquaintance for me, and this person knew them when they were like in elementary school and middle school. So we've seen the thoughtiness essentially develop in this person. But essentially, this person is about 26, has 3 children, a fourth on the way, and is very brazen about her thoughty behavior. She's essentially just out here. And someone asked the question, is a thought still a thought? If she marries a thought, do the thoughts cancel out? Does it magnify exponentially?
The elements get deleted. I think hoes life. So, hey, sometimes you have to take sabbatical.
Yeah.
Sometimes you come back, maybe you're just like a non-paying member for the year. I don't know.
A member abroad? Okay.
right.
No,
So
member abroad.
with quantum thought mechanics, I think that we are like essentially trying to understand like what's the right amount of thoughting. Is there too much thoughting? Like how do we want to have this conversation for the people, who want to be a thought, who are maybe testing the thought waters, you know.
And we're not trying to sex shame. You know, people should be able to, same with the conversation about hotations. Like, we want people to not only be safe, but like enjoy themselves, enjoy life, knowing what they want and going out and getting it.
I think those are the only two important things. Like, one, be safe, whether that's like, you know, practicing safe sex or being safe in regards to like openly communicating what it is that you want, your expectations, or, you know, if it's not that deep, then just kind of keeping it not that deep. Like, be about what you say and keep it pushing.
Yeah, that's real talk right there.
As long as you're enjoying yourself and, you know, you're not hurting anybody in the process, you're not lying to anybody, you're just being yourself and doing what you do, and you feel good about it. And even if you don't feel good about it, then clearly that's just a sign that you need to adjust something. But, I mean, I'm pro-ho. So, I mean, if you... I can't say like that's too much only because it's up to each individual. Like, that's do what feels good for you. Like, I'm not gonna prescribe like, oh, if you do over 50 people in 2 weeks, that's too much. Like, there's no like formula to this. It's
Wait,
just
hold on.
how you do it.
I think we can tell the fans that over 50 people in 2 weeks, that's too much, guys. I'm sorry. Y'all gotta slow it down, please.
I mean, if you're not getting paid for it, it just sounds like a lot of wear and tear for no reason. I'm just saying. It's not a smart decision, but if that's what you want to do, then you do you. I would not advocate for that. But again, that's for me personally. That doesn't fit well with my aura.
Yeah, that sounds exhausting. Good God. That sounds... but I guess,
I'm not judging. I'm just saying. I'm not judging.
So when we were thinking of this idea for the Thotty Hall of Fame, it was people who used, what may be deemed as thoughty behavior from people outside looking in, which is anytime we're really describing a thought. Nobody describes themselves as a thought. They might say, oh, I'm in a hotation, or I like this or that. But for the most part, when people say thought, it ends up being kind of a derogatory term. We're trying to flip that and kind of essentially empower, right? So for my list of Thotty Hall of Fame, one, I did have to put the Kardashians on there because, I mean, you just turned a sex tape into a media empire. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, I also had Gabrielle Union, who finessed. Everybody kind of forgets Dwayne Wade was married and in a full-on relationship before Gabrielle Union came up, and now we all support, D Wade and Gabby now.
Wait, so
I definitely forgot.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah,
he snatched her up.
I mean, she snatched him up.
I forgot. I feel like I never knew this. So
yes,
okay.
yes.
I think you definitely got to throw Amber Rose in there because I see Amber Rose.
She is the head of the slut walk, so yes, if she's not on here, your list is incomplete.
Right. But I'm just amazed at like how Amber Rose has built a huge platform and business out of this really taboo subject. Supposedly, I guess we could call it thotting or just, having a hotation. Really, I call it being sexually liberated. So,
okay, PC Sunday.
Hey, you know how it is. But she, like, honestly, Amber Rose, like, I think the slut walk, just like those words together and also what it embodies, that event is just like, very moving. It makes you think differently about sexuality and sexual expression. So definitely got to throw Amber Rose in there. What else are you looking like, Herschel?
And I will say I feel ways about Amber Rose, but that's not what this conversation's about. Go ahead.
No, we can. Yo, T-Report, what's good?
I mean, really quick, not even going to get into it for real, but I mean, I really do appreciate what Amber Rose thinks that she's doing, but it's very evident that she's not done the work. So at this point, I feel like she's only advocating for a feminism that is sex positive, which I think is important, but that's the only thing that she's concerned about.
Okay,
so,
what other issues are worth tackling for someone who has a platform like her?
I feel like it's important to stay in your life. She has been able to tread the waters of sex positivity in the name of #feminism, but I feel like she always wants to pipe up about being able to fuck whoever she wants without judgment, but does not quite understand the systems of oppression that keep people there in that place. She's just like, well, we should just be able to do stuff, but I don't think she really understands or done enough work to understand why things are the way they are. Not to say that that's justified, but you can't dismantle a system without understanding it. So that's my only issue with Amber Rose for real.
As you guys know, I am a mental health counselor. I don't do it counseling now, but I was trained in it. And a huge thing that counselors try to help their clients understand and improve on is just knowledge of self, as you said, Lauren. So kudos to that. But also being like just being willing to be open with someone. So if you go back to that situation you mentioned, like, okay, yeah, we hooked up. I'll let you spend the night. If someone is feeling insecure about it, like, oh, did he let me or she let me spend the night because they really like me? Like I think people have to be more willing to just confront their anxiety and be like, hey, how do you feel about me? Like, what's really good, instead of jumping to
Yeah.
conclusions or trying to, figure out things with some sort of mental gymnastics. But as far as
Mhm.
starting as well, it's the same thing. Just like be open with the person, whoever you might have a relation with, be open with yourself and be, responsible for your own awareness. Like prioritize your awareness.
Exactly.
And
Like, I feel like if you feel comfortable enough to spread your butt cheeks to somebody, you can ask them you guys stand. Like, you shouldn't be afraid to say, like, hey, how do you feel about this?
absolutely.
Like, you've already bared your soul.
Yeah.
Literally.
Most definitely. Okay, so we got one more question that we want to run by you. So far, it's been hot takes. We appreciate you jumping on the phone to speak with us on Real Talk Beyond the Headlines. So, one thing that I feel like is becoming more accepted is the idea of like a woman being the sole breadwinner in a marriage or relationship, whereas a woman is equal with their male partner, or they're the sole breadwinner, or perhaps the male partner is like a stay-at-home dad, and like has assumed that role. The thing though is that I've heard differing opinions where some women are very open and accepting of it, and then some women are like, no, like I want my husband to like make more money than me for sure. I want them to have like a really good career. I want them to work and be the breadwinner. So what is your take on that?
I mean, it's different strokes for different folks. I mean, some people, like you said, I've always made more money than my partner, so I'm probably going to marry someone who makes less money than me. And that's beneficial for the simple fact that if they can find someone that, like a man who is okay and willing to assume the role of someone who's going to be like the primary caretaker for the children, or the person who's going to be the house manager because you're too busy off at work earning all the money. I mean, that's a successful partnership.
Right. So
Conversely, with me, if he's the sole breadwinner, and I mean, there are sacrifices with that as far as like not being as equal, not necessarily in decision making, but as far as like I don't know, I guess opportunities to discuss more things or being able to have a little bit more leverage. But yeah, I think ultimately it's the two people involved.
Okay.
That's the answer.
What is your preference? How do you see yourself in the future if you end up getting married and having children?
Well, right now in my relationship, my boyfriend is the breadwinner of our house because we do live together, and so I'm obviously okay with that. Like, I have my money, he has his money. We still move together, then we also have our own money. So, that fine with me. I will say in other relationships, be it my parents, or I did used to nanny for a little time in college, and um, I'm trying not to like go off into my like feminist rant because I am a women's gender and sexuality studies major. But
Yo, please do.
This is Real Talk Beyond the Headlines.
The biggest thing with having a male partner who is the breadwinner is that it's always assumed that the woman, because she makes less money, and just because she's a woman, period. Like, when the kids get sick, they're gonna call the mom first. They're not calling dad to take off of work to come get them. Um, when I think it really becomes an issue once children are in the picture. But even then, it's like women are expected to do the second shift. Like, you go to work the same 40 plus hours that your husband or male partner does. Even though you might make less money, you're still putting in the same amount of time and work. But then you also have to then turn around and cook and clean and see about the house and see about him and seeing about, like, if you have children, And so I think moving forward, obviously as society evolves, I think men and women are, depending on, socioeconomic class, education, stuff like that, they are taking more of a progressive step towards talking about division of labor, making sure that it's not all falling on one person, whether it's agree to do a chore wheel or being able to hire some outside help, whatever works for your relationship. But I definitely think, again, according to education and socioeconomic status, most modern day couples are at least trying to work towards an even division of labor. But yeah, I'm not saying that one way works more than the other, but I will say for women who have decided to take on the breadwinner role and have a partner who doesn't make as much as them, it is a little bit harder to find a man who is okay with compensating. Because I do feel like women who don't make as much money, they are more like, okay, well, I ain't lacking this, so I'm going to pick up and making sure that everything around the house is skinny fan, they're a housewife, whatever. There aren't a lot of guys who are okay with being a house husband. There are some from that thing that is done, but because of the way our society is set up, for whatever reason, they don't most people don't expect for men to have dinner on the table and the wife gets home, or to make sure that everything is taken care of around the house and that she's taken care of. For the most part, we expect for men to contribute monetarily. So having to find someone who has made that mind switch in their head, okay, I know I'm not going to make as much money as my wife. I need to have these skills to make sure that she's taken care of. I think that's a really important and special thing. So yeah.
Okay.
It is a good.
Yeah. Man, we just got a little bit of an education. Don't act like you didn't learn something when you listen to Real Talk Beyond the Headlines.
Some of it is from social media. I'm not going to lie. I follow a lot of great women on the timeline that are trying to warn the young girls hey, these ain't shit, but you can find one that is.
Yeah. Who should people listen to? Or who should people be following on social media?
In regards to socioeconomic status, for sure, I would definitely recommend Kim Love. Her Twitter is KimMayTube. I think she's great at trying to warn the ladies, or just educate people and let them know. She has a hashtag called assertive mating, and she talks a lot about how people are choosing to mate up. It's not necessarily women going to college, finding a husband, and then riding off into the sunset. It's really seeing how people across all races are deciding to pair up and have children and build futures and stuff. So she's great.
Okay. And definitely shout out your own Twitter as well so people can follow you.
Yeah, my Twitter, I'm not nearly as articulate all the time on my Twitter, but it is at LowDunit, LODUNNIT, LowDunit. That is where I can be found across all. I don't Instagram, so don't go on my Instagram. Everything on there is 7 years old. But yeah, pretty much all mediums I'm LowDunit.
Great. This is Real Talk Beyond the Headlines. Hashtag hot takes. Okay, hold on. I have to say something. We're still recording, but I want to say something that you are, Lauren, will be our resident, you are officially our resident feminist expert. So, Real Talk. Right. Definitely got to get the air horns on it when I put it up, but. Yeah, right. That was good. But, Real Talk Beyond the Headlines, we're talking about a lot of different things. We're a sports podcast that also discusses culture and popular topics. Feminism is important. We want to learn more. Listeners need to learn more. So we have our resident feminist expert, Lauren, a.k.a. at LowDunit. Thank you.